With that, we come to one of my favorite parts every year. We come to our Startup Avalanche finals. I hope like some of you had a chance to see some of the previous sessions on that, on the Avalanche stages. And with that, I'll straight hand over to the moderator for our Startup Avalanche finals. So Sergio Birish is a very, very strong supporter and key fixture in the Romanian tech ecosystem. He has just made public that he is now CEO and co-founder of EventMix, which he co-founded together with his old partner in crime, Andre Dunker, we had also here before. And before that, he was founder and CEO of Zonga, Trilolilu, co-founded LiveRail, as I mentioned, the monetization platform for video publishers acquired by Facebook in 2014. So Sergio really knows his stuff, has invested in a lot of startups. So I'm glad, Sergio, that even virtually you're doing this and keep like pushing the Romanian tech ecosystem forward. So I'm very, very eager to see what you got in stock with the Avalanche this year. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Philip, for that nice introduction. That was the best introduction I've ever got. So thank you, and thank you to you as well, because you've been involved so much in this, in our ecosystem here in Romania, and thanks a lot for your involvement. So yes, we have a great event coming up. We've seen some very interesting pitches. There are 5 finalists for Startup Avalanche, which I'm very excited to get on stage in a few minutes. Before I do that, though, I would like to present our judges for today's competition. We have a prize of 75,000 euros plus 25,000 euros, because we've just added 25,000 euros more. So there's 100,000 euros in total. The 25,000 extra comes from Risky Business. I will introduce our judges, starting with Călin Văduva, CEO and co-founder of Fortec. Călin, please tell us 20 seconds something about yourself. Welcome.
Thank you, Sergio. I'm Călin Văduva. I'm the CEO and founder of Fortec. Fortec, it's an offshore, nearshore company. We grew up since we started in 2013 from 5 people to 800 people now, working exclusively for US and Europe market. We are an offshore business, but in the last 5 years, we start investment and getting shares in different companies. So right now we have about 10 investments in US market in different areas, healthcare, finance, and so on. So there is a direct interest from our side in startups market.
Thank you, Călin, and thank you for sponsoring this year's competition. Our next judge is Alexandru Bogdan of RocaX. Alex, please tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alexandru Bogdan. I'm the CEO of RocaX. We are a smart investment solution in tech startups, Romanian by birth, global by ambition. I'm happy to be here for the 2nd year supporting Startup Avalanche with 50K of the prize, and just happy to see such a diverse set of startups reaching the final, and maybe saying that we are making Cluj and Romania, at least for a few days, the center of the startup world. Looking forward for the pitches.
Thank you so much, Alex, and thank you for being with us for the 2nd year in a row. RocaX is sponsoring Startup Avalanche for the 2nd time in a row. And as I said at the beginning, we have a 25,000 euro bonus coming from Risky Business, and I would like to invite Bogdan Colceliu, partner in Risky Business, to tell us a little bit about that.
Hi, Sergio. I'm Bogdan, co-founder in Risky Business. Risky Business is an acceleration fund that was created here in Cluj by 36 local entrepreneurs and investors. Last year, we did invest in the winner of Techsylvania. So this year, because we had the chance to work with the teams that participated as partners in crimes with Techsylvania to help them prepare, we actually saw that there is good value in all of the teams that made it to the final. So we think that whoever is going to be the winner is going to be a good startup to put our 25K in.
Awesome. Thank you, Bogdan. Please mute your microphone. Everybody, when you're not talking, it's best to mute the microphone. Thank you for supporting Startup Avalanche for all of the years. And without further introductions, I would like to tell you that we have such a great and diverse group of startups today. We have startups from Switzerland, Australia, the UK, Romania and Canada today. So I promise you there will be some very, very, very interesting pitches coming up. We will have 8 minutes in total per startup, so 4 minutes per presentation and 4 minutes for questions from the judges. Those are the rules. And without further ado, let's get it started. We will start with our first startup that's coming from Switzerland. Ponera Group is a provider of smart modular industrial packaging solutions. And you will see it's a very, very interesting and exciting startup. And to tell you more about it, I would like to introduce Masoud, the CTO and co-founder of Ponera. Welcome, Masoud. You have the floor.
Thank you, Sergio. Thank you, Sergio. It's a pleasure to be here. Great. Hi, everyone. I'm Masoud from Ponera Group. And right here, right now, I want to introduce you to the future of pallets. When we hear about pallets, usually this is what we think of. Here in Europe, we think of Euro pallet. In the US, it is US pallet. And in Asia, it is Asian pallet. Even though there are several standard sizes, they are circulating all around the world and going from one hand to the other. What we know less about are the customized size pallets. They are used for goods with specific sizes that do not fit on a standard size pallets. Industrial machines such as turbines or automotive parts or even furniture. These pallets are up to 4 times more expensive compared to new standard size pallets. This is because of high procurement efforts, batch production, and often they require higher strength compared to standard size pallets. Even though being so expensive, they are single use. This is because first, it is impossible to repurpose them and use for other goods. And second, it is too expensive to get them back and use it for another shipment of the same goods. This results in waste of $8.7 billion of such pallets per year. This was the pain that my co-founder, Matthew, felt while working in that industry. After finishing his master's at EPFL in mechanical engineering and working in lead investment banks for a few years in Switzerland, he started working in global strategy and operation and logistics of a company that is working with customized size pallets on a daily basis. To solve this problem, he went to his long-lasting friend that he met during his studies, Masoud. During this time, I was doing my PhD in chemical engineering with the focus on production of biopolymers from renewable sources. Together, we came up with a solution for this problem, the Lego of pallets, where different pieces can attach and detach as easy as working with Lego. Modules with different sizes can attach to each other to create any defined surface area, and they're also designed toward maximizing the efficiency of the whole process. These biopolymer-based pallets are 50% lighter compared to the wood pallets, which results in less fuel consumption during transport. Our modules are twice as strong and can last a dramatically longer time. Even at the end of their lifetime, they are fully recyclable, which offers a high degree of sustainability. This solution can decrease the total cost of ownership on packaging material up to 90% for our clients. Instead of buying the expensive wood pallets for each single shipment, they can purchase our modules once and use it over and over. And one more important point. Did you know that every year, about 75 million hectares of wood is used for production of wood pallets? This corresponds to approximately 1/3 of the global wood production. Our solution can result in saving up to 30% of the global wood production on a yearly basis. And this is not all about the future of pallets. The concept of modularity, reusability, and extended lifetime enables the implementation of a universal IoT system in this market, where sensors such as traceability, temperature, humidity, or even shock sensors can be used effectively. This helps us to solve a bigger problem in this heterogeneous market with 2 different types of products. Our vision is to establish a new standard in this market where our modules can be used for both standard size and customized size use cases. The next milestone on our journey is the industrial pilots that are confirmed with 3 of our potential clients starting in December 2020. One of them being a multi-billion Swiss company, and another one, a major wood pallet producer in the region. To achieve our ambitious goals, we are an ambitious team with the guidance of our strong advisory board and the support of the startup ecosystem in Switzerland and Europe. We recently closed the pre-seed round and raised about €500,000 that will take us throughout our next milestone. We are planning to commercialize our product next year, for which we are looking to raise €3 million by spring 2021. With this, I would like to finish my talk and look forward to talking to you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Masoud. Great presentation. Judges, if you have a question, please raise your hand. I will ask Masoud the question. Masoud, tell me why did you and your co-founder feel like this was an important problem to tackle, to solve? What's your driver behind that?
So as I also mentioned during the presentation, Matthew, he had first-hand experience with that issue while he was working in industry for a few years. And there are 2 aspects to it. One of them is the financial part, that it brings quite high cost for the businesses that they use huge volumes of customized size pallets. The other problem is the waste, the amount of waste in terms of wood waste, non-responsible use of resources that is happening, which is very important for both of us, especially for me also, that I was working on the renewable sources and considering the climate impact it can have. Nowadays, it's a very big concern for both of us. And from there, we thought about how we can solve this problem, and now we came up with the solution that we have.
Awesome. Alex has a question. Please, Alex.
Hi. Actually, I have 2 questions if I have enough time. My first question would be related to what is protected in your initiative from copying it worldwide. Is there any IP? Is there any protection on the concept that you have?
Yes, we do have. We have 2 utility patent applications that we started in the European Patent Office, followed by PCT, and we have the patenting strategy defined, where we want to go with the national interests according to the use and also the supply chain of it. This is for the short term, and in longer term, we will have more patents coming, especially regarding the IoT part, that we are working on patenting them, and also the full crate solution.
And the second one, not to lose time, is what is actually your core of the business? Because the concept of Lego bricks, it's really interesting, but you are mentioning also IoT, you are mentioning decreasing the cost of shipment and the weight. What is exactly at your core, and how do you see your company in like 5 years when you have success?
So our ultimate vision is to play our role in increasing the efficiency in the whole logistics system. And how we see there is that we have this innovation, the hardware, to implement the hardware, from where we can go on with the software that we are developing, and data-driven services, where we use the IoT in combination with the hardware to extract data and optimize the routes and minimize the waste throughout the whole system. So if I want to summarize it, is that ultimately we see ourselves as a platform where we can provide data-driven services for the clients, and also manage the flows of these modules all around the world for shipments.
So one last question from Bogdan, quick one and quick answer, please. Bogdan?
Okay. Hi, Masoud. So these pallets, if they become the new standard, I imagine they're going to fly from UK to Brazil. From there, they're going to go to Argentina, then to Germany. Then you never know when they get back to UK. So that means 10 companies will switch them. So how do you get there when the entire economy uses your pallets or these pallets?
Exactly. So it's a very good question. The fact is that we are also establishing a partnership with third-party logistics, 3PL companies, that they will help us on organizing and managing these flows of pallets, as you say. And if there is imbalance of flows from one region to the other region, we can take care of balancing the flows, especially according to the fact that the design is in a way that we minimize the handling charges and also warehousing charges, so the costs are minimized for us, and with correct partnerships we will take care of it.
Thank you so much, Masood. This was Ponera. Thank you very much for your questions and for your presentation, Masood. We will see you later. We are moving to our next startup in line. It's a startup from Australia. They have a technology and an ambition to help change the lives of the 2 billion unbanked last mile communities worldwide. Please welcome Angus, the CEO of AgUnity, directly from Australia. Yesterday, he presented at 4 a.m. This time is not that late, but welcome back, Angus. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Sergio. And yes, it's a pleasure to be here. This €30 AgUnity phone will enable a smallholder farmer to lift herself out of poverty. And we will do for millions of farmers just like her what Alibaba did for manufacturers in China. This very phone will soon be given to a farmer in Ethiopia or Papua New Guinea, and it may just be the most important possession that she ever owns, but it is obviously no ordinary phone. There are thousands, millions of good organizations looking to work and support these last mile communities, but they all struggle with the same challenge of connecting with them efficiently. And that's what AgUnity does. It connects them to last mile users with this. Our phone changes farmers' lives because we have rethought it from the ground up. We solve the key challenges that a simple app or normal Android phone cannot, including a user experience for users with low literacy or no prior experience with technology, solving connectivity challenges in remote and rural regions, and securely recording transactions on blockchain. AgUnity improves trust and cooperation between farmers, buyers, and cooperatives. And by cooperating better, many of our farmers have increased their income by up to 3 times in a single season. Once we made a phone that was relevant and useful to the farmers, we discovered that a vast number of organizations would pay us to give farmers free phones, not as a charity, but because they have a genuine ROI. This includes organizations selling products and services to the last mile, banks providing financial inclusion, commodity buyers like Fairtrade, and of course the NGOs that are already investing millions of dollars and need better transparency. We've completed 7 successful projects around the world and have a huge pipeline of new projects. And we've just confirmed our 3 biggest projects ever, including rolling out to thousands of Fairtrade farmers across 4 countries. USAID has just sponsored a new project in Kenya where we will integrate with M-Pesa. And World Food Programme has just requested an identical project to our Ethiopia-based one for the African Centre of Excellence in Luxor. We collect small subscription and transaction fees from the farmers, but we already have over €750,000 in annual project revenue from companies that are paying us to connect them to the farmers. We are being paid to become the Alibaba for farmers so they can sell produce locally and commodities globally for a fair price. In a few years, we will have this opportunity locked down in multiple countries and can collect a substantial commission on billions of dollars of trade. And we have also adapted and licensed our tech for Australian wool growers, fish and red meat provenance, and a fresh produce tracking project for a €30 billion retail chain. And this solution that we've been working on for 4 years only needed a small pivot to play a vital role in safe food supply during the pandemic. COVID-19 is causing the worst food crisis of a generation, and many struggling countries may fail. Governments are facing a horrible choice: lock down and you kill the economy, create unrest and food shortages, and people may starve. Don't lock down and you have deaths from the virus, overwhelm the medical system, and become isolated. AgUnity offers a third option: allow food markets to be closed while keeping the food supply chain operating and farmers earning. We already have 5 COVID-specific proposals as part of AgUnity response, including one for €6 million. And we have just been confirmed for a new project in Uganda, working with 8 businesses and 100,000 smallholder farmers. We have an incredible and diverse team with deep experience in tech, farming, sustainable development, and operations. And our executive team have decades of experience in their respective areas. Our founding CEO, David Davies, grew up on a farm and worked in senior executive roles in investment banking technology, including Goldman Sachs and Lehman, and previously founded 2 successful companies in Japan and Singapore that were both acquired. And we have won numerous awards and been studied and recognized by many leading industry bodies, universities, and others as a model of positive impact technology. Up to 2018, we raised about 600,000 euro. Last year, we had 750,000 euro of real revenue and didn't need to raise funding. This year, our known revenue is already over 1.5 million. And to keep growing, we are raising 3 million euro via a Series A, starting with a safe note for 400,000. In 2020, our focus has been on improving farmer lives. We have good project revenue and we can help keep the food supply moving through the pandemic. Next year, we hit serious scale on many of our projects, and with thousands of users, our revenue will increase from transaction and subscription fees. By 2023, we will have evolved into a global food marketplace, doing for small farmers what Alibaba did for manufacturers in China, and by doing so, millions of people will escape poverty. I'm Angus Keck, COO of Agunni. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Angus. Colleen, question?
Yes, Angus, thank you for presentation. I have a small question regarding the revenue. You mentioned that the farmers increased the revenue 3 times. May you explain a little why happens that and how you calculate these 3 times?
Definitely. It's fairly simple in terms of we just measure their income pre any Agunni involvement and then post Agunni involvement. So it's really just an income-based assessment. In the projects where we've had farmers, see increases in income of 3 times, there's been 2 critical factors. One is we're working with farmers who are doing everything manually by hand. So they're hand seeding, hand harvesting, and they're not operating as part of a cooperative. So they individually will buy to the local middle people who come by and offer them a very low, disproportionate market price. With Agunni, they were able to band together into a cooperative. They were then able to get access to machinery such as an air seeder and a combine harvester. And then they sold together to negotiate a higher price at the point of sale. Now, it shouldn't be lost on anyone just how profoundly difficult the challenges are faced by many smallholder farmers. Their productivity compared to maybe a Dutch farmer is maybe 1/15 for the same crop. And it's all because they just don't have the access to the resources or the ability to negotiate, purchasing power.
Thank you. We have time for one last question. Bogdan, you were first.
Hi, Angus. One quick question. Assuming that you have success, that means every farmer is going to use your platform, right? And that means farmers will lift it out of poverty. So that means NGOs will not be on the ground anymore to help them and help you. So you will be by yourself, but you will also be the big bad guy at one point in the industry because you'll control the entire industry. So my question is, how does this look and what is an exit plan if there is one? So where do you see this going? What is the maximum point where this can go?
Yeah, it's a fair question. I mean, look, ultimately, we don't think you have to be a big business and a bad business. We don't think the two are synonymous. We understand that when you get really, really big, there is a lot of emphasis on the bottom line. But the idea of a triple bottom line or a B Corp company, that's kind of what we believe in. In terms of the exit, so look, there's a few different opportunities, but we could be a really good IPO story, maybe in 2024, 2025. We've got a great public brand. There are a lot of people who want to get behind us. But just as much, we might go down the private equity sale for a company that has kind of similar vision and similar goals as to us, and they would buy out a lot of the early investors.
Alex, one last short question. Angus, short answer. Thanks.
Yeah, very quick. So beginning of your presentation, you're presenting actually the phone and its role into modernizing the agriculture. How much of your business is related to the phone and the sale, revolutionizing, and how much is the rest of it, the software, the business model, and everything?
Okay, in a short answer. So, well, the truth is that the hardware is not a massive component of our overall cost. We source them directly out of China. We don't really put much margin on them when we sell them to our partners who are deploying it into the farmers in the field. Most of our investment goes into the technology, the software side of things. So as much as we use hardware and we see it playing a very strategic role, we don't see ourselves as being a hardware company. We're just leveraging all the existing manufacturers out of China who produce very good quality, very low cost Android smartphones.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Angus, and good luck with your startup. This was Agunity. We will see you later. Moving on to our next startup that's coming from the UK, and they realized that fast-moving consumer goods companies were struggling to reduce lost sales, and that's what they're focusing on. To tell you more about it, I'm introducing Vina, CEO and founder of SalesBeat. Welcome, Vina. The floor is yours. Unmute, please. I don't think we can hear you, no. Can anybody hear? No. Okay, I will let you sort that out somehow, and we will have to move on to the next one until you solve the technical difficulties. Okay. So I'm going to move to our next startup from Romania. We have serial entrepreneur that's coming after a very successful exit, building his next startup, wants to fix a very big pain in the insurance claim field. To tell you more about it, welcome Dan Cobeanu, CEO and founder of PayPact. Dan?
Hi, hello. Okay, just 1 second. I wasn't quite ready to. Okay. So we are PayPact, and we pay your claim in 48 hours or less for any minor car accident. My name is Dan Cobeanu, and my previous business was Rovinete.ro, the #1 online reseller of Romanian road tax. The business reached a turnover of 53 million euros, and we had an exit to a Swiss company in 2018. My new startup is PayPact. At PayPact, we solve a major problem in the insurance industry. No matter the insurance policy type or the insurance company, when an accident occurs, people have to wait to receive payment. Let's take, for example, the MTPL insurance. On average, a client has to wait 40 days. In other CE countries, the process can take up to 90 days to receive the payment from the insurance companies. Now, the average payment is 3,000 euros. On CE alone, there are 3 million claims every year, totaling 9 billion euros in payments for MTPL claims. PayPact reduces the pay time in the insurance industry from 40 days to 48 hours. Let's see how it works. When an accident occurs, the two parties involved use PayPact to take photos of their accident and of their damaged vehicles. Then they scan and upload personal and vehicle identity documents. From here, there is one more step. The files are analyzed by our claim department and sent straight away to the insurance company for approval, together with a financial evaluation of the damages. As soon as we get the approval, we make the payment in 48 hours. For every payment we made, we are charging the client a 10% fee. So far, I've invested 200,000 euros from my own money that are being used to develop the platform. By February next year, we will launch with several insurance companies in Romania. By August, we would have processed more than 1 million euro in payments for MTPL claims, and we will be ready to open a seed round. Until then, we're looking for strategic investors that can help accelerate our go-to-market. We are paybacked, and we pay your claim in 48 hours or less. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you for being so quick in changing your slides. It was a good, very good presentation.
The clicker was working.
Don't worry about it. It's great. It's great. It's virtual events, man. So, Colleen has a question. Please, Colleen.
Dan, I like a lot the concept of 48 hours payback from the RCA. I have one question. Say 48 hours after approval. How much time is usually taking the approval comparing with the payment time?
Well, it depends from an insurance company to another, but we will have strict contracts because practically what we're doing, we're helping them solve a huge problem. So there will be very strict clauses not to take more than 2 days. We're looking not more than 2 days. Otherwise, there will be penalties involved.
Bogdan, yes, please.
Hi, Dan. 2 short questions. One, how will you scale? This problem is obvious in Romania. How will you scale in other CE countries outside of Romania? And second, you would need a lot of money to circulate between the 48 hours and the time when the insurance company pay you. How do you plan to cover that?
Okay, first question. So first we will launch in Romania with insurance companies, but most of the insurance companies that are activating in Romania are actually companies that also have business outside Romania and especially in CE. So we'll use those contacts to reach the CE market. And of course, in taking the consideration this period, it will be very easy to reach no matter what the situation, another CE insurance companies that are not present in Romania. The second question, sorry, about the working capital. Yeah. Okay. So first, when until August next year, when we will process the 1 million claims, I will use my personal money, so it will be my investment. And after that, we are looking to partnership with banks or with hedge funds, depending on the appetite they have.
All right. Thank you. Dan, we have one more question from Alex, I think.
Actually, my question was pretty similar to Bogdan's. If you are going to be very successful, how big that success will be and how will you finance it? And actually considering, especially in Romania, some bankruptcy stories of some insurance companies, how will you cover the risk of this crediting over the 45 days between your payment and recovering the money?
Okay, thank you for the question. So covering the risk is something that we've done before because on my previous business, Rovinete.ro had around 300,000 clients, and a couple of thousand of them were with payment at the term. So we are taking guarantees, and even if we would like to have the whole market, this is not necessarily has to be the situation. If an insurance company cannot provide sufficient guarantees, we won't work with that insurance company. And in the end, the clients will be convinced also that is not a good bet to make there and not a good way to pay the insurance there. I hope I answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. We will see you later. Thanks a lot for your presentation and for the answers. Dan Cobianu, PayPact. We will move next to our next startup. Vina, I will leave you the last one. I hope you fixed the issues, but I will leave you last. So we are going to move to a startup from Canada. We've been to Australia, we've been to Romania, we're going to Canada now. These guys want to make the planet a better place to live. They are developing sustainable tailings treatment to help restore tailings ponds into thriving habitats. I will let Shahrukh, the CEO and co-founder of EnviCore, tell you all about it. Shahrukh, you have the floor. Good luck.
Thanks a lot, Sergio, and it's a pleasure to be here. Let's see, my slide is up. Perfect, it is up. So, hello, my name is Shahrukh Shamim, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of EnviCore, and we are accelerating the transformation of mine tailing ponds into a thriving habitat. The mineral extraction and oil production are major resource extraction activities, which involves excavation of huge amount of waste rock to remove the desired minerals. Now, this ore is then crushed into fine aqueous slurry, from which the raw materials such as metals or oils are extracted through a series of different mineral processing steps. However, the extraction of these commodities generates exponential amounts of wastewater, or commonly known as tailings, that are stored in large open containment areas called tailing ponds. In Canada alone, this oil sand tailings cover a disturbed land of 250 square kilometers and store enough of water to fill over 18 million Olympic-sized swimming pools, and has adverse ecosystem effects due to their toxicity. Now, the commercially available treatment technology of these tailings span from coagulation and flocculation using salts or polymer agents to mechanical operations such as filtration and centrifugation. However, all of the developed treatment are in most cases very energy intensive and too costly to operate, while the poor solid liquid separation of this tailings achieved contributes to the unsustainable recovery of disturbed land, which takes more than 20 to 30 years for a complete transformation from a disturbed landmass to a reclaimed and profitable land. My name is Shahrukh Shamim, and I took upon this challenge during my master's program at the University of Calgary, Canada, in chemical engineering, and invented a solution that changes everything. At EnviCore, we provide the first fastest transformation technology in the world. Our treatment solutions for hard rock and for the oil sand tailings tech industry takes only 5 years to clean up the toxic tailings after the treatment. The technology basically centers around environmentally friendly chemicals that is dosed into the tailings through simple mixing steps. The process is easy retrofittable and entails no additional capital investment, as the existing tailings facilities at the client sites can easily be utilized. In addition, the process offers 60% of the operational expense reduction based on the low cost of used chemical agents by us. Now, due to the specific chemistry behind the treatment, the efficient solid liquid separation can easily be achieved by our process, whereby we recover more than 60% of the water that is trapped right now in the tailings than our competitors for the recycle operations, thereby minimizing the need of fresh water for the extraction operations. With the process advantages presented above and close to 2,000 active tailing ponds around the world, EnviCore's technologies is targeting a total market estimated at $30 billion right now. And out of this size, our immediate obtainable market is measured at $1.7 billion that covers the cost of tailings treatment on the chemical side only. Now, going into detail specific to one oil sand tailing ponds that is situated at Horizon Mine site in northern Alberta, Canada, around 72 million tons of tailings are produced each year. Operational expense of the current technology to treat this amount of tailings is close to $42 million on an annual basis. But with our technology, we can solve this problem in just $18 million, leading to a savings of $24 million on an annual basis. Also, current technologies take 30 years to transform the land back to its natural habitat. But with our disruptive process, we can achieve the transformation in just 5 years. Now, to capture the market, we will implement a business model combining the treatment technology licensing to the end user in the oil sand and hard rock mining sector, and licensing to the chemical manufacturing companies, given that we are using commercially available treatment chemicals. On our development road so far, we have raised more than $270,000 in non-dilutive funding and signed the agreement with our first client in the hard rock mining sector on a joint technology development. Going forward, we envision undergoing small-scale pilot testing in the fourth quarter of this year, with field-scale retrofit in the third quarter of next year, and revenue generation in the range of $7 million on an annual basis in the first quarter of 2022. To successfully deploy our technologies, we have gathered a team of diverse background in business and technology development and financial management. Along with myself, the team consists of Chief Technical Officer, Chief Innovation Officer, a Scientific Director, and Executive Advisor. The team brings vast experience in the technology commercialization and executing robust business models. In order to achieve the set goal within the next 18 months, we are currently raising $400,000, out of which $75,000 is already committed by an angel investor. With that, I would like to conclude my presentation and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Shahrukh. We only have 3 minutes for questions. Bogdan? Unmute, please.
Sorry. Shahrukh, one question. When you deploy next year this pilot and you actually go on the ground and see the solution working, how much does it take for us to actually see it proven in the field that it actually works? Because, okay, it reduced 5 years, but how many years do you need to wait to see it work?
Sure, that's a great question. So right now, the current process is basically to treat these tailings with just one reagent, that is gypsum or lime, to neutralize the acidity of these tailings, but it does not impart any strength at all. Now, the current regulation states in 1 year, you need to have 5 kilopascal of compressive strength, and after 10 years, it should be 10 kilopascal to meet the whole reclamation criteria or ready to reclaim criteria. So you don't need to wait that whole 5 years to see that whether technology is working or not. And with our process, you can easily see within 1 week the strength evolution in the sediment and the efficient solid liquid separation, which basically imparts that this technology can easily, first of all, recycle water and at the same time produce a very strong sediment which meets the criteria after, let's say, 1 month following the treatment. And now the process can easily be moved on to the next stage, which is a reclamation process. So basically accelerating the whole timeline. We are working on a more detailed model where we are extrapolating the whole timeline of this reclamation activities. And we see that 5-year period of reclamation timeline is a very comfortable time period for us.
Thanks, Shahrukh. We have one more question. I think was Colleen. Did you want to ask first, or it was Alex? Alex, go ahead. Alex, go ahead. Ask the question.
Hi. So you mentioned several metals and mining activities. I was wondering how dependent is the solution on each of these situations, the metals, the locations, and everything, and if you would describe your business more as a service provider or as a product which is usable across situations?
So that's a great question. So right now, specific to the hard rock, and there are different operations right now. Some are situated in different parts of the world, which are arid or sometime in a humid condition where there is certain different requirements by the mining companies. What we are offering right now is a tailor-made solutions for the mining companies. And specifically, when I say tailor-made, it's going to be for one particular type of metal mine. For example, the copper or in the zinc, we'll have one sort of technology that can target or meet the requirement what the client exactly wants. Similarly, in the area particular, we have developed 2 types of technology right now, which targets, first of all, the arid climate, and second, that targets a humid climate, where basically we maximize the water recovery, and in certain cases we make sure that sediment is so strong, the whole solid liquid separation is so efficient that your reclamation activity can begin as soon as possible. So from that perspective, we are offering a tailor-made solution where we are giving them a process patent, and we'll be licensing these technologies to the end user or to the chemical manufacturing company to accelerate the whole value to money timeline. At the same time, we have thought of actually going to this client's facility to see how they are right now doing the treatment technology and how we can easily retrofit our process, because we don't need any sort of additional capital investment.
All right. Thank you, Shahrukh. This was MV Core. Thank you for your presentation, for your detailed answers. And we will move to our final startup. I hope we're fine technology-wise. Vina, can you hear us?
Yep, I can. Can you?
Perfect. Perfect.
Brilliant.
We can hear you.
Okay.
So, without any further introduction, Vina, CEO and founder of SalesBeat. You have the floor, Vina.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of SalesBeat. We are eliminating lost sales for fast-moving consumer goods companies. I have 20 years in this industry, consulting for and working in fast-moving consumer goods companies like PepsiCo and Diageo. I used to set up local teams and subsidiaries for FMCG companies globally. In my first sales role, I led the international sales team at Diageo to beat their targets for the first time since they set up. But it was in my role as a finance business partner for the Pepsi sales team where I understood how the sales process in this industry worked. It may come as a surprise to you, but customers like supermarkets are indifferent about whether you buy a Pepsi or a Coke, as long as retail margins are similar. And this is why a salesperson goes in to meet with the buyer regularly to discuss orders and promotions, so they effectively and efficiently sell into consumers. And as a guide, salespeople use historical sales data for these conversations. So, what happens when there is a heat wave? This is not a recurring event. Not a single Pepsi to be seen on shelf. And PepsiCo loses out on this massive sales opportunity. Due to situations like these, Pepsi loses up to $20 billion every year. And according to a study done by Procter & Gamble, this is $3 trillion in lost sales for the entire industry. Beat solves these problems. Beat uses internal and external data to make predictive recommendations to sales teams on orders, promotions, and portfolio, so they can then discuss this with the buyer. Beat uses not just historical sales data, but weather forecasts to predict future sales, memberships and points cards to understand consumer interests, social media trends, demographics data, so that it can factor in the implications of all these different factors on its predictions. You may wonder how we are different from CRM software. CRMs like Salesforce are brilliant when you have a sales pipeline and you need to track progress, where you contact several different prospects, some of whom convert to customers. A CRM is a tracking tool and is reactive. Beat is an FMCG-focused internal sales team management tool that uses predictive recommendations to manage sales teams. And this is why more than 60% of the companies we email cold are interested in the solution. We launched our MVP in June at the height of COVID. Despite this, we are in trial discussions with all these large CPG companies. That's 25 ongoing trial discussions with large FMCG corporates, and 3 agreed pilots already. Now on to my co-founder, Alex, who has more than 20 years in startups and in tech. He has been developing apps, managing web development projects, and advising startups on their tech strategy. His expertise lies with helping companies take an idea to market and ensuring product market fit, with his primary focus being on user experience and smart design. We are raising $300,000 in convertible notes or safes to go towards platform development and sales and marketing, and have $100,000 already committed. And in 12 months' time, we expect to generate $100,000 in monthly recurring revenues driven by some 700 sales execs using Beat. We are SalesBeat. We are the future of the fast-moving consumer goods industry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vina. Let's see if we have some questions. Alex?
Yeah, so thank you, Vina, for the presentation. My first question is related to the fact that you need, in order to have success, engage the entire logistic chain up to the shelf in order for the customer to be able to buy the final good. How do you plan to engage this entire chain of delivery from the production, the selling, to really delivering it from the deposit to the shelf to the client when he needs it?
Yeah. So we are basically integrating with field sales solutions, merchandising solutions, and we integrate with ERP systems in the companies as well. So that when the orders do come in and the verbal commitments come in, it integrates with the enterprise software systems within the company, so everyone knows exactly what's going on. And once the products are manufactured by the manufacturing team, they would then get their logistics team to send it to the customer. And once it's there, the merchandising solutions that we have integrated with will then take over the sort of merchandising and field sales aspects. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that answer. Colleen?
Yes, Havina, I would like to ask you. You said that you are in discussion about you have 25 discussions right now, and you will start with pilots. Could you give us a little bit more information about the pilots? More exactly, are these paid pilots, when they will start, and for how long?
Yeah, so it starts on the 1st of October. And the 3 pilots that we have are unpaid pilots, and they are going for 3 months. And it's for us to basically get in some of the data around what else we need to build into Beat. And we are currently in trial discussions with large companies. Mars is a meeting I have at the end of this week in terms of agreeing a trial run. And with them, it'll be a much shorter trial period. So it'll be a 1-month trial with us building what they need on top of it after that.
Bogdan, did you have a question?
Yes, it was kind of similar with Colleen's, but a bit different. These companies you address have very long decision cycles. They decide in 6 months and then they implement in 1 year and so on. How do you plan to tackle that? Because you basically run out of runway until they decide something. So yes. How can you make that process shorter?
Yeah, so since I was part of that team that used to make things log, I know how to hack it as well. And that's basically how we got Mars to get into a conversation with us within 3 weeks of actually speaking to them. So it's all about getting to the right decision maker and having them speak to their teams rather than going to their teams and getting them to escalate this to the senior decision makers. And right now, they are basically looking at eliminating lost sales because COVID has just made the situation really, really bad. So it's worse than 30% at the moment. So all of their focus is in making sure that this doesn't happen anymore. So this is like a burning issue for them, and they want to act on it now.
Thank you so much, Vina. And thank you for your presentation, for your questions, judges. This is all the time we've had for the finals for Startup Avalanche. I think we've seen some pretty amazing startups in this final. Thanks a lot to the Risky Business guys who have helped these teams for the past few days, weeks to prepare. Thank you to the sponsors, Fortec, Roca X for the second time, and the new addition in the finals, Risky Business, for the 100,000 euros prize. I think we've had a great contest. You will see the winner of Startup Avalanche tonight at 9:30. So please come back at 9:30. We will see the winner, and then, we'll party. No, we'll see Mark Cuban, I think, right, Philip, afterwards?
we will see Mark Cuban after ending that. Guys, you've done an amazing job. Congrats to all the startups. Thank you for all the Avalanche team, Sergio for moderating, Risky Business for putting it together, Colleen, everybody for putting your money and soul into making a stronger startup ecosystem. I really appreciate it. It gets better and better every year. You guys doing an amazing job. Thank you so much, guys. Can't wait to see the winner.
Too bad this is virtual. We should have like, I'm applauding by myself here. So
Thanks,
all
man.
the best to
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you.